Well, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mercury in the 7th house episode. My god, you guys were driving me nuts with your inquiries. When is this video gonna come? Well, it's here now. Stop moaning. So, Mercury in the 7th house. What happens when Mercury comes into your 7th house in your birth horoscope? Well, what is 7th house? Seventh house is a house of your marriage, first of all. It's a house that shows your spouse who is legally binded to you. Okay. It's also the house of legal partnership. It's the house of making contracts because marriage is a contract you sign. So any kind of business dealing, signing of contracts, trading goods, because seventh house is originally the house of Libra, which is the marketplace, the lower plane marketplace. Because Aries is where Sun is exalted, which is the throne. And then seventh house is right below it, which is just the lower class merchants exchanging goods and doing business. So, it becomes a house of goods. It's also the courthouse, the actual courthouse that you work in. So then Mercury comes in here. Mercury is what? It's your communication, it's your speech, it's your intelligence, it's your logical mind, it's your skill sets. What kind of skill sets do you possess? So when Mercury is here, first of all, this can make somebody who is in a business of trading goods. They're simply in business of, selling goods and buying goods. It could be import export, but more so a merchant is seen from this. Mercury's intelligence comes in to dealing with others, to making business with others. And Mercury is also is a representation and a signification of business. So here you can see all sorts of merchants. Doesn't matter what, all sorts of merchants, from artist to the one who's selling mangoes on a shop. But when Mercury applies his intelligence into making contracts, what do you think that signifies? Well, obviously, who makes contracts? Lawyers, attorneys. So you can see a lot of attorneys here because the Mercurian energy is now into dealing with the intellectual, the calculative part, and the intellect of arranging a contract. And what does it take? It takes a lot of intelligence. It takes, somebody to go through law school, to become a lawyer, then go for a bar exam, then pass the bar exam. It's a whole deal, So here Mercury becomes an expert on how to make a contract for their client, or somebody who's a counselor, marriage counselor, because here it's a house of marriage. It's a house of, legal binding. So they become counselors of some sort. And even attorneys are known as counselor. They counsel you on legal matters, on matters of the courthouse, because this is again what? It's a courthouse. Okay. And usually the most of the wealth that these people make is through the art of business. So if you have this Mercury and you're running through Mercury Dasha and you're not satisfied because you're at a job and it's not giving you much, well, maybe it's time for you to think about doing business, because second house and second, third, and seventh house are really the house of making money through your self efforts. Second house becomes the money of self efforts. Third house becomes the money of making self efforts and courage, your own courage. And seventh house is trading of goods. And trading of goods really happens in the business world. So this is why this automatically becomes the house of business. This is actually one of the most prominent house of business. So business is seen from this. Now, seventh house is a house of that shows who your spouse is. Well, guess what? Mercury is that twin energy, especially in Gemini. So if let's say Mercury is in Gemini, or Mercury aspects his sign of Gemini, then you can literally your partner could be a twin of you. So if you're a business merchant selling mangoes, your partner could be a business merchant selling tomatoes or mangoes or peaches. Okay. If you're an attorney, you might end up with an attorney. You might end up with somebody who's doing the same thing as you, and their relationship becomes a very communicative, side by side, best friends kind of relationship. Okay. But here though, Mercury's ability and intellect and logical mind could make partnership into kind of a business deal. Like for Mercury, then it becomes hard to be that. sexually romantic person, because you're so involved in, trading of goods and business and law and all the things that you do, that your life may deteriorate in the personal world. But if there's, conditioning of other planets here, then obviously that changes that. But again, you need a partner who you can communicate with. You need a partner who can be as business savvy as you in the seventh house situation. Now, why is it the seventh place Mercury makes you a good communicator? Makes your personality all about good communication and good speech? Well, because Mercury from the seventh house aspects the ascendant, your life being, your life force, your personality. Even your physical body is impacted by Mercurian energy coming from the seventh house. So your whole life becomes about communication. Depending upon where Mercury is and what kind of sign Mercury is, that's the kind of communication that you're going to be dealing with. But you can be a philosophical communicator, you can be a legal communicator, you can be a salesman, business communicator, but your whole life is about communication and speech. Okay, but due to the conjunction of other planets, that can either completely destroy your speech or that can elevate your speech. Like, there are people who are mute in the world, they don't have the ability to speak. And there are all kinds of people. They have their Mercury in the first house, the seventh house, the 12th house. But why is it that their communicative skills are not there? It's because of the impact of other planets, especially Ketu and Saturn. Okay, in certain signs and padha, that determines, okay, if this person is going to be able to communicate or not. But from the seventh house, your own personality becomes a very communicative Mercurian personality. And especially if it's with a Sattvic planet like Sun, Moon, or Jupiter, it can definitely take you into an intellectual field like law. It can make you a teacher, because teacher is also about interacting with others. So here Mercury can make you an art teacher if, let's say, your Mercury is with Sun in Leo, or Mercury is with Jupiter in the sign of Gemini. You can be a teacher of some sort, or you can be a communicative teacher. You can be a teacher of art. But here the Mercury really shines in the art of business, because even attorneys can become businessmen. They do their business, and they have the art of the legal side, and they have the art of business. So literally this becomes a very your whole intelligence goes into dealing with others, especially your spouse. You're tremendously involved with your spouse, and your spouse will be tremendously involved with you, because certain marriages are kind of distant, where the husband's doing their own thing, the wife's doing their own thing, and they just meet for a certain time, and that's it. Here Mercury wants to get their partner involved. Okay, they want to communicate with their partner about their business. But again, if there's aspect and if there is conjunction with other planets, then that speech can totally deteriorate. That communication will totally be deteriorated. And you may not have everything. If you have hemming of Mercury, if you have Papkartri dosh, if you have aspect of Ketu or Saturn, that it can distance that communication with your spouse. But mainly this is, the house of business. So guys, this is my analysis of Mercury in the 7th house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. I'm still in the habit of saying above, below. Geez, YouTube, come on, man. Let's get it straight. But if you want to know where your Mercury is placed and where your communication skill comes in, check out the link below. Check out my book there, Astrology at the Speed of Light. And when you get the book, I'll send you the link to look at your own chart. Just make sure you follow the directions below at the link. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. And today I'm going to be going and witnessing a speech and a lecture by a very intellectual person on Mayans 2012 theory. Very, very good info. It's not what you think it is. And so I'm going to attend this today. And then I'm invited to a dinner at Hilton in the evening. And I'm going to go there, maybe take pictures or maybe make a video. But I will definitely make a video on what happens in this meeting. And then I'll make it either late night or tomorrow. All right? See you tomorrow. Hey, what's up, all you Chaos lovers? So make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe to my channel, and please share my channel with all your family and friends who are in love with astrology, because I'm the man when it comes to astrology. Okay, so make sure you do that, and I will see you tomorrow with another cool new video. Okay, sorry, I love my coffee spiked. Woo!